So the small business sector, as you know, has faced everything from pressures on cash flows and balance sheets to long periods, of course, of closure, what to do with their staff on furlough, their markets literally disappearing overnight. And whether you're joining us today and you operate in retail, whether you operate in manufacturing, tourism, or services, we really hope that this morning's conference will provide you with practical advice, tools, and solutions to help you grow your business. So before we actually start the programme of events and hear from our first speakers, a little bit of housekeeping coming up for you. But I'd also like to really thank our sponsors today, Newry, Mourne and Down District Council and the FSB for their support for today's event. If you could all, and I know you're all coming into the room now, people are still joining us. We've so many people joining us today. But if you could make sure that you're named correctly, that's very useful when it comes to allocating you to the breakout rooms for the workshops that are coming up later. So if you don't know how to do that, you'll see your name next to your picture. If you hover over that, there should be a drop-down box and a rename option over there. So if you do that, that's really useful instead of having Johnny's iPad or the kids' iPad or some strange number, and we can really see where you need to be, especially in your workshops. If you could ensure when the speakers are on today to please ensure that your camera and microphone remain off. And I can't believe I still have to say that, but it happens every single time. And you know what? I could be guilty of that at times as well. So just make sure you're on mute and we're not hearing background noise, as it can really interrupt our speakers. We will be using the chat function later on when we get into the main plenary speakers today. So help me out here. I've got access to the most wonderful speakers, but I'm sure that you would love to ask your own questions too. I've thought of a few for you, but it would be so useful if you have a burning issue or pressing question that you would like to ask our speakers, then send them in the chat and I will definitely do my best to put all of those questions to whoever it is that you want to ask them of. We are recording the full day today, so please be aware of that throughout the conference. And we'd love you to interact, as I said, via the chat function, but also why not spread the word on social media? If you hear a little nugget today, a bit of advice, something that's really good, tell people about it. Share the messages from this conference. And we're using a hashtag today. It's hashtag NISBC 2021. Hashtag NISBC 2021. Also, it does happen from time to time when there are a lot of people on a Zoom meeting. If your connection fails at any time, the best thing to do is to go out again, really, and use the existing link that you have to rejoin, and things should be okay. But of course, reach out if you've any problems at all. So I hope you really, really enjoy our Pathway for Growth programme for you today. To formally begin today's programme, I'm now going to ask the Chamber President of Newry Chamber of Commerce and Trade, Emma Mullen-Marmion, for her opening remarks. So over to you, Emma. Great to see you this morning.
Thank you, Sarah. Lovely to see you again. Chair of Council, Cathy Mason, partner organisations, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you all to Newry Chamber of Commerce and Trade's 2021 Northern Ireland Small Business Conference. As a chamber, we recognise the importance of supporting our small businesses. COVID prevented us from running the Small Business Conference last year, but for Newry Chamber, we were determined that the conference would happen in 2021. Since the Chamber last ran the event in 2019, the world that the small business sector operates in has changed dramatically. The small business sector is the lifeblood of our economy, and no more so than in Newry, Mourne and Down. Last year, we were the second highest region for new business startups, and the trend is continuing in 2021. As a business community, we recognise that many of today's small businesses are the engine of future economic growth in our region. In the past year and a half, the business community has faced unforeseen and unprecedented challenges and threats to their survival. And the aim of today's conference programme has been tailored to reflect those challenges and to provide practical advice, tools and solutions to help you in your recovery and in your growth. We have a very busy programme this morning, and I'm delighted that the new Minister for the Economy, Paul Frew, is joining us, and I look forward to hearing from him on how his department will work with and support the small business sector. We will also hear from Richard Ramsey, Chief Economist at Ulster Bank, with his all-important overview of our economy post-Brexit and COVID. After coffee, there will be an opportunity to hear from Brian Reid, CEO and co-founder of Deli Lights. They started out making sandwiches in a small kitchen and now operate internationally, employing nearly 300 people. The story will hopefully inspire other small businesses that want to follow their pathway for growth. Our conference wraps up with former BBC apprentice Gráinne McCoy talking about how she developed her business during the pandemic, and we really look forward to hearing about her journey. In between, we have arranged workshops offering practical advice and support for your business, and we hope that you go away with real solutions that will not only help you in the day-to-day running of your business, but also on how you deliver real growth. Finally, today's conference would not be possible without the support of our partners, Newry and Mourne District Council and the Northern Ireland Federation for Small Businesses. We would like to thank them for continuing to work with Newry Chamber to make this conference possible and for their continuing support for the small business sector. I hope you all enjoy the conference. Thank you.
Emma, thank you. Our opening remarks there from the President of Newry Chamber of Commerce and Trade. Well, the local council network plays an important role in supporting the small business sector, and our next speaker, I'm delighted to welcome the newly appointed Councillor Cathy Mason, Chairperson of Newry, Mourne and District Council, to say a few words. Good morning to you, Cathy.
Morning, Sarah. Thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure as the Chairperson of Newry, Mourne and Down District Council to provide an opening address at today's really exciting NI Small Business Conference hosted by the Newry Chamber of Commerce and Trade in partnership with the Federation of Small Business and of course Newry, Mourne and Down District Council. It has often been said that the comeback is always stronger than the setback. This is certainly befitting of today's conference theme, a pathway for growth. The recent experiences of business throughout the North, caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and exacerbated by the operational changes following Brexit, have culminated in the most challenging of times for all of our businesses, regardless of the size, sector or status. Creating a period of uncertainty and pressure on our economy, the setbacks have been a turbulent experience for each and every one of us. I personally applaud the buoyancy, spirit and innovation of our small businesses who have demonstrated their strength in coming back stronger in their next new chapter in such a positive manner. We will shortly hear from the newly appointed Minister for Economy, Paul Frew, and other keynote speakers on the economic outlook for the North in the short to medium term. You will have the benefit of hearing from a talented pool of speakers who will also provide advice and guidance on proposed new ways of working to ensure a clear pathway for growth going forward. Topics are ranging from resourcing and promotion to diversifying and embracing new technology and obtaining practical ways to grow yourself and your business. These measures are vital to the recovery of our economy and stepping stones to growing our small business sector regionally. I have no doubt that our business community will step up to the challenge by utilising and developing their skills in a bid to recover and build back better. Newry, Mourne and Down District Council are committed to providing support to our Indigenous businesses and continue to work with key stakeholders to ensure the advancement of economic opportunities, both regionally and beyond. And so I very much look forward to hearing from all of today's speakers and actually joining you in attending some of the workshop sessions, which will surely provide a stimulus for growth. So enjoy the conference and try to get involved as much as possible. Gurmila Mayagat.
Thank you so much, Councillor Cathy Mason there, and good luck with your year ahead. I'm glad you can stay for the conference this morning. Now, our conference, as I mentioned earlier, is also supported by the Federation of Small Business. They play an important role, as we know, in the Northern Ireland economy and have been extremely vocal, raising the voice of small business throughout this pandemic and indeed over Brexit too. Their regional chair is Brendan Kearney, and I'm going to hand over to Brendan next. Good morning, Brendan.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here with you this morning, albeit virtually, and thank the teams of Newry Chamber, Newry, Mourne and Down District Council and our team at FSB Northern Ireland for putting together such a fantastic event today. My role as Regional Chair of FSB, coupled with my role as a small business owner, has given me the opportunity to see firsthand the impact that COVID-19 pandemic has had on so many of us over the past 16 months. There have been many families and communities torn apart with losses and loneliness, students missing out on learning and socialising, school being the only safe haven in the lives of some, and of course our businesses, staff and customers and general economy witnessing a period of time unlike no other. As we approached 2020, for many of us, it was the end of the Brexit transition period. That was forefront to our minds. How would it affect us? What changes would we see? I imagine none of us had foreseen the double whammy that was to ascend into our lives in the form of coronavirus. I used the phrase "from chaos, there is opportunity" in one of my monthly newspaper columns during 2020. And I have been truly humbled by the determination of many of our small businesses to do just that and take the opportunities even with the most challenging of years. Small business is the backbone of the Northern Ireland economy. It employs more people than the public sector and big business put together, and we have always prided ourselves with the quality of resilience, and boy did we need it in bucketfuls through the last 16 months. There have been, of course, government support schemes, but they were not without their flaws, as many of you will know. FSB worked tirelessly for members and all small businesses to lobby government for more support, more clarity, for better timing, for improved communications. Even at the minute, we are still working with members who have had issues with applications for the likes of LRSS and CRBSS. We have heard over the months from many businesses in dire straits, and through contact with our team and use of many benefits offered by FSB, such as our free 24/7 legal and employment helpline for members and our packages like FSB Cllr. We have been able to support hundreds of businesses through this difficult period. Of course, there are still the so-called everyday challenges such as business rates, access to broadband or high streets. And so on that, FSB and other support organisations continue to campaign on behalf of small business. Like this event today, our FSB events went virtual. Through networking and support events, we have been able to connect and showcase so many of our members who have taken the opportunity in chaos, whether that be to enhance and bring forward their digital transformation, develop new products, or look at new markets. I think of the likes of our members, Block Blinds and Macrofelt, who, to use one of the pandemic buzzwords, pivoted by, at the outset, moving production into PPE and generating positive PR and communication messages for their brand. I look at the likes of Burn Balsamics in Armagh, who are now supplying into the prestigious Fortnum and Mason in London, and look to the motivation of Abbey Upholsterers, Carrickfergus, who on top of everything else suffered a devastating fire to their premises in April, but have now relocated to new premises and were recently awarded the FSB UK Family Business of the Year title. We know many of you have similar stories to tell of how you have embraced change in order to survive and now hope to grow and thrive. The programme ahead is an inspiring and yet very practical one, giving you all access to many experienced and supportive voices over the coming hours. You are here because you want to know how to grow your business post-COVID, and the speakers within the plenaries and workshops have great messages to deliver. I ask you to take as much benefit as you can from this today by asking questions, following up on the things that you have heard, and take your opportunity from chaos. We at FSB will continue to be the voice for small business and offer our members a wonderful array of benefits and resources. Don't hesitate to find out more about what we can offer our members, or speak to existing members who will know the value of membership and can bring. Once again, thank you to the team involved in putting this event together, and thanks to all of you for the contributions you have made to our economy and your determination to survive, grow and thrive. Enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Brendan, thank you very much to you. There we had the Regional Chair of the FSB, Brendan Kearney, with some great messages there. Love that, you know, take your opportunity from chaos. And there's great opportunity this morning to ask questions, get help, get answers that you need to survive, to thrive, to grow your business. A great shout out there to some super businesses that have done exactly that, and, you know, are embracing new opportunities that have been presented, embrace the change, and I suppose demonstrating incredible resilience. But Northern Ireland's economic recovery can only be driven by innovation, investment, and a skilled workforce. We keep hearing that time and time again. These factors, together with the principles of the Department for the Economy's Recovery Action Plan, fit in with the themes of this morning's conference. And welcome to all of you who have maybe joined a little later than the start at 9 o'clock. We are delighted to have you with us today. Just a little reminder about having your mics on mute and your cameras off during the plenary sessions. As there's so many of you on, we don't want any disruptions. So Paul Frew is the new Economy Minister, and we're really delighted that he can join us this morning. Minister Frew, welcome.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's a delight to be here. I'm glad I was able to schedule this appointment into my diary on an executive day. So thank you for your warm words of welcome. And I also thank Brendan for his remarks. I was able to hear a good lot of his speech, and it's very, very good that he's there too, speaking on behalf of his organisation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Colm Shannon, for the very kind invitation to what is a very important and timely event. I am delighted to be joining you all, albeit virtually, and for the opportunity to address the Northern Ireland Small Business Conference in Newry. Small businesses are the lifeblood of Northern Ireland's economy, and it is clear that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on many businesses across the sector. It has been particularly difficult for those small and micro businesses that rely heavily on the requirement to provide vital face-to-face services to customers. So it is fitting that I take a minute to thank the small business community for everything you have done to adapt and to navigate this once-in-a-generation shock brought about by the pandemic. I have spoken with business owners who have moved much of their sales online, whilst others have had to make significant physical adjustments to their premises in order to accommodate important social distancing measures. It has been difficult, but it is thanks to the commitment and resilience of our wider business community, particularly our small business sector, that we can now look to a pathway for growth and recovery, paraphrasing the title of today's event. It is without question that small businesses will be a driving force in our economic recovery from the pandemic and our journey towards long-term economic growth in Northern Ireland. Whilst there is still a long way to go, I sense a mood of quiet optimism. There is a growing buzz back on our high streets, which I know we all very much welcome. And we must continue to build on this together. I thought, therefore, it would be useful for me to share with you the latest thinking on where we are now and where we, as a department, are hoping to lead our economy. In the immediate timescale, my focus is firmly on an uninterrupted and sustainable reopening of our entire economy. This too was the position of the previous Economy Minister, Diane Dawes, who launched a new Economic Recovery Action Plan in February of this year. The Economic Recovery Action Plan sets out a wide range of actions that will help to kickstart economic recovery as we emerge from COVID-19. This plan has been strongly endorsed by many in the business community, but the conversation is not over. Economic recovery can only be delivered through continued collaboration and partnership, and will extend beyond this financial year. Departmental officials will continue to engage with as many stakeholders as possible, including the Northern Ireland Chamber of Commerce and the Federation of Small Businesses, in order to facilitate the ongoing discussions on economic recovery. The executive has shown their support by agreeing to provide the additional 290 million required to deliver the recovery interventions committed to during this financial year, including the High Street Scheme and the Holiday at Home voucher scheme. The High Street Scheme will give another boost to our high streets. People will be able to apply to receive £100 to spend on local bricks and mortar businesses, thereby supporting the local economy and protecting local jobs. In addition to this direct investment, there have been early developments in delivering against other key themes within the Recovery Action Plan, including our ambitions for a greener economy, the skills agenda, and a relentless drive for research and development and innovation. On the 31st of March, my department published an options consultation paper leading to a new energy strategy. This includes progressing key actions relating to renewable energy, energy efficiency, the hydrogen economy, and green innovation. On the skills agenda, pilot activity has commenced to test how the Flexible Skills Fund could be utilised to support upskilling. The development of additional upskilling and reskilling interventions is also well underway. Whilst we must acknowledge that economic recovery will not be delivered in 1 year alone, rebuilding our economy will require sustained investment in the longer term to deal with the unprecedented challenges arising from this COVID-19 pandemic. We must also look to rebuilding a stronger, future-proof economy. In May, my department launched a 10x economy and economic vision for a decade of innovation. I believe that this represents an ambitious but realistic commitment to build a more innovative economy which will bring benefit to people from every background in every community throughout Northern Ireland. And as we look to rebuild our economy, we must also strive to reshape the economy in a way we have not done before. Now is the time for us to take the bold actions that are necessary to exploit the opportunities that will influence and shape the economy of tomorrow and provide a fair distribution of opportunities for people right across Northern Ireland. The 10x ambition set out in the vision is about fundamental change, challenging the ways of the past and setting out our ambition to be one of the elite small advanced economies in the world. It is not about multiplying everything by 10, but a representation of the ambition that lies behind our vision. The vision is built upon 5 key and interconnected steps to success. We must focus on the areas where Northern Ireland has global strengths, like cybersecurity and fintech, and set ourselves as leaders on the world stage. We must invest in and support our people, ensuring that everyone has an opportunity to thrive. We must also ensure that innovation is diffused across the fundamental economy so that it provides opportunities for all sectors, not just those at the cutting edge. We will fundamentally review how public funding is allocated, getting better at leveraging challenge funds and at the ways in which we offer government support. And we must embrace Northern Ireland as a world-class visitor and investment destination. To do so, we will strengthen our inspiring innovation ecosystem and use programmes such as the City and Growth Deals to develop our innovation infrastructure right across Northern Ireland. And with the Economic Recovery Action Plan, I welcome the fact that our vision has been endorsed by many of our key businesses and sectoral partners, and we look forward to working with them all. This, of course, includes you, the small business community of Northern Ireland, as we look to develop a work programme that can change our economic landscape, one that will be defined by constant innovation, increased productivity and opportunity for all. As part of the 10x economy agenda, my department has already launched skills for a 10x economy, a consultation on a new skills strategy for Northern Ireland, and trade and investment for a 10x economy, which sets out how we will harness trade and investment as a catalyst for inclusion, green growth in Northern Ireland to support our economic transformation over the next decade. I truly believe that the time ahead will transform our economy and indeed the lives and livelihoods of our greatest and most valuable asset, our people. I want to thank you once again for providing the opportunity to update you on the exciting work that is taking place in my department. But as I have said before, we need to continue to work with business partners and other key stakeholders. It is only through this collaboration and co-design approach to the development and implementation of economic policy that we will fully realise the ambitions as set out within the Economic Recovery Action Plan and the 10x vision. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's conference for what looks like a very busy and exciting agenda. Thank you.
Minister, thank you for taking the time, as you said, on an executive day to attend this morning. I know people were very, very pleased to hear from you this morning as you set out your plan for recovery. And yes, a lot of ambition lies behind that vision, and we just want to get going again. So thank you for taking the time today, and good luck with the rest of the work at Stormont.